Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram. Hello everyone, my name is GYANENDRA Kumar. I am biology educator in India. In this video, we will discuss what is sympathetic neural system. Yes, what is sympathetic neural system? So we all know that sympathetic neural system is something that is part of our autonomous neural system. Our body neural system have it have two parts. One central neural system, another one is peripheral neural system. Central neural system include brain and spinal cord, and the many nerves rising from the brain and spinal cord are part of, they are forming our actually peripheral neural system. Like the nerve rise from our brain are called cranial nerve. Fine. And that cranial nerve, and that nerve which is, should we have 12 pair of cranial nerve, and then we have 31 pair of spinal nerves also. This cranial nerve and spinal nerve, they form peripheral neural system. This sympathetic neural system we have already discussed in one video. This sympathetic neural system is also called thoracolumbar outflow. Yes, we are also calling it thoracolumbar outflow. Why we are calling thoracolumbar outflow? Because it include, yes, sympathetic neural supply include thoracic spinal nerve and lumbar spinal nerve from the T12, T1 to L3. So as thoracic spinal nerve and lumbar spinal nerve are forming it, we will call it thoracolumbar outflow. Another part of autonomous neural system, that is called parasympathetic neural supply. It includes 3, 7, 9, 10 cranial nerve and sacral spinal nerve. So that's why we are calling that craniosacral outflow. So parasympathetic neural supply is also called craniosacral outflow. Now please come back to sympathetic neural supply, which is called thoracolumbar outflow. See, in this sympathetic neural supply, few things you will find common everywhere. In the sympathetic neural supply, one neuron rises from the spinal cord, and this neuron is called preganglionic neuron. Yes, we will call it preganglionic neuron. This preganglionic neuron will form junction with it will form synapse with postganglionic neuron, and this postganglionic neuron supply the organ. So we have one neuron that is called preganglionic neuron. Yes, we will call it preganglionic neuron, and then they are forming synapse with postganglionic neuron near to spinal cord. Yeah, they are forming it near to spinal cord. Fine, they are forming this near to spinal cord. Yes, preganglionic neuron we have, postganglionic neuron we have, and they are forming junction at near to spinal cord. Now they are forming actually ganglia here. That's why we are calling it preganglionic neuron and postganglionic, because here we'll get one collection of neurons, so that's why we'll call it ganglia. Fine. Now this ganglia is forming a chain actually here, right? And that chain is called sympathetic chain. Like you see, I made here this, another side I made here, this is called sympathetic chain. Sympathetic chain. So this, obviously this, we are bilaterally symmetrical animal. This sympathetic chain present both sides of the spinal cord, and in this sympathetic chain only our preganglionic neuron will come, and they will form synapse with the postganglionic neuron, and postganglionic neuron will supply the organ. Preganglionic neuron releases acetylcholine as a neurotransmitter. Yes, they take stimulus from the spinal cord, they take stimulus from the central neural system, and they releases acetylcholine here. Yes, they releases acetylcholine here. But when you'll see the organ, they secrete adrenaline and noradrenaline, or you call it epinephrine, norepinephrine. Yes, so our sympathetic neural supply On organ, neurons releases adrenaline or noradrenaline. Fine. In this video we will discuss in detail how nerves supply, how different spinal nerve, sympathetic neural supply different organ. Yes. So you see, this is our T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, T7, T8, T9, T10, T11, T12, T12, and then L1, L2, L3, which are forming our thoracolumbar outflow, means sympathetic neural supply. Nerve from the L1 will T1 will rise from here. They will go above a little, sympathetic preganglionic neuron, and then they will form synapse with the postganglionic neuron, and they are going to supply, yes, they are going to supply our eye, our salivary gland, our lacrimal gland. When they will supply to eye, they releases norepinephrine neurotransmitter. This norepinephrine neurotransmitter for sympathetic neural supply, actually sympathetic neural supply, is also called fight or fright condition. When you are in anger, when you are in fear, when you are running, when you are in stress, in your body, sympathetic neural supply will dominate. Now you tell me, when you are in anger, fear, like you are running, one dog is chasing you and you are running, you are in fear. You will like to see more and more area, you like to see more and more area, you like to see far, or you like to see very near? No, like to see far. So actually what happened, this norepinephrine of the sympathetic neurons, they dilate pupil, and when they dilate pupil, you will see far, you will collect more light from the surrounding, more images from the surrounding, and there will be more vision. And obviously one side they will dilate the pupil, another side they will accommodate our lens also. They will act on ciliary muscle, they will act on suspensory ligament, and according to that, lens will be also accommodated. Then we have secretion on the salivary gland. They will cause the so saliva secretion, it will decrease. Saliva secretion decreases in sympathetic neural supply. Saliva will become thick. Saliva will become viscous, and there will be more mucus production from the mucus gland. So thick, viscous mucus production will be there, and they will act on our lacrimal gland also, and from the lacrimal gland they will decrease secretion of lacrimal gland. Mucus, thick viscous mucus production, salivary gland, less saliva secretion, lacrimal gland, less lacrimal gland secretion. Then from the T1, T2, T3, T4, nerve rises. They traverse sympathetic chain, they cross sympathetic chain, and they form cardiac plexus. This cardiac plexus act on heart, they increases force of ventricular contraction in heart. And when they increases force of ventricular contraction in heart will pump more and more blood, and that increases cardiac output. Blood pressure obviously will increase, and then they will increase heart rate also. They will act on the sinoatrial node, and they increases metabolism in the P cells there, and they increases heart rate. Fine. Yes. Then some nerve rise from this, some nerve rise from here only, and they are forming our esophageal plexus. This esophageal plexus will act on esophagus, they will interact with esophagus, and they decreases peristalsis in esophagus. Yes, esophageal plexus decreases peristalsis in esophagus. Then nerves from, yes, then nerves from T2, T3, T4 rise, and they are forming pulmonary plexus. This pulmonary, actually, there is a great variation between the different book, so whatever best possible that I'm telling you all. Yes. So this, they are forming pulmonary plexus T1, T2, T3, and T4. They are forming pulmonary plexus. This pulmonary plexus, they will supply our respiratory system. They will dilate bronchioles. Yes, bronchioles dilate. In sympathetic neural supply, bronchioles dilate. So they will dilate bronchioles. So bronchiole become wider, probably for more and more breathing. And then secretion of mucus decreases. Mucus secretion decreases. Vasoconstriction of the bronchial artery. Now you tell me, in the bronchiole wall, whatever arteries are present, if they will constrict, what will be result of that? Obviously bronchioles will dilate. Yes, so bronchioles dilate. Dilation of bronchioles, constriction of bronchial artery, decreased secretion of mucus is a feature of the sympathetic neural supply, is effect of sympathetic neural supply on our respiratory system. Then now come to other part. Yes, now come to abdominal part, please. T5, T6, T7, and T8 and T9 will unite each other and form greater splanchnic nerve. They cross, actually they cross sympathetic chain, and then outside of sympathetic chain, lateral side, they form the greater splanchnic nerve. This greater splanchnic nerve later forms celiac ganglia, and the celiac ganglia supply adrenal gland. The celiac ganglia supply small intestine. The celiac ganglia supply spleen. They supply liver, pancreas, stomach. They supply our small intestine also. They supply our large intestine also. So greater splanchnic nerve include T5, T6, T7, and T9 spinal nerve. They cross they crosses actually this sympathetic chain. Outside they join each other and form greater splanchnic nerve, and then they form celiac ganglia. From this celiac ganglia only supply to our stomach, and they inhibit peristalsis here. So in stomach, peristalsis will be inhibited. Obviously, food will not digest. They decreases motility here. They decreases movement into the stomach. So food digestion will reduce. They decreases absorption. They decreases gastric juice secretion. That means all over they are decreasing activity of, they are suppressing activity of the stomach. They constrict pyloric sphincter to slow down the digestion. Yes, if pyloric sphincter will be slow, the food will not move ahead, right? And the process of digestion, it will be slow down. So what will be ultimate effect of the sympathetic neural supply on digestive system? They suppresses the, they decreases the process of digestion and absorption. Yes. Then the same celiac ganglia supply to liver. The same celiac ganglia supply to our pancreas. On liver, they causes breakdown of glycogen into glucose. Now a person is in the fear, in the anger, or energy consumption have to increase. For that, lot of glucose is required. So that glycogen present in the liver will break and it will form glucose, and the glucose will release out. Blood glucose level increases. Yes, and then they inhibit secretion of bile secretion inhibited. That means again digestion of the food decreased, and they increases glucagon production. They will act on our, pancreas, and they causes increase in glucagon production. What will be effect of the glucagon production? More glucagon, high level of glucose in blood. And not only that, they have a little effect on the spleen also. They causes contraction in spleen. Yes, they causes contraction in spleen. Then this celiac ganglia, they supply, yes, The cilia ganglia supply our large intestine also. They decreases peristalsis there. They decreases absorption there. They decrease the secretion there. Decreasing peristalsis, decreasing absorption, decreasing secretion. Then they supply to small intestine. Duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Again, there also decreases peristalsis, decreases absorption, decreases secretion. So all over they are decreasing activity of our digestive system. Who? Sympathetic neural supply. They act on adrenal gland to release epinephrine and norepinephrine. Remember students, this epinephrine and norepinephrine, if they secrete by our adrenal gland, we will call them, they will act like a, they will called as hormone, and then the same thing released from the neurons will call them neurotransmitter. Yes. Now next one, see this T10 and T11, T10 and T11, they cross sympathetic chain, join each other and form lesser splanchnic nerve. This lesser splanchnic nerve is also forming one ganglia. This collateral ganglia is called aorticoronal ganglia. We'll call it aorticoronal ganglia. This aorticoronal ganglia supply our kidneys. In kidneys, they decreases urine production. They actually promote release of renin from the juxtaglomerular cells, and we all know when the juxtaglomerular cells releases renin, it will reduce urine formation, and it will increase blood away from the kidneys. Yes. Then L1, L2, L3, which is together forming one nerve, which is called the lumbar splanchnic nerve. We are calling it lumbar splanchnic nerve. This lumbar splanchnic nerve actually they supply urinary bladder. In urinary bladder, they are forming two plexus. One is superior hypogastric plexus, and another one is inferior hypoglossal plexus. The superior hypogastric plexus and inferior hypoglossal plexus, they act on urinary bladder. They causes relaxation in detrusor muscle. Detrusor muscle is the smooth muscle present on the wall of urinary bladder. Yes. So this is for storage of this activity, is for storage of urine, because when this detrusor muscle will contract, urine releases out. That they not do actually. The superior hypogastric plexus and inferior hypogastric plexus actually they causes relaxation in detrusor muscle that will store urine, and then they supply internal urethral sphincter, and they causes contraction in internal urethral sphincter, so urine will be hold in the more and more amount. So this is function of superior hypogastric plexus and then inferior hypogastric plexus. And then you see from the T12, T3, TL3, they come out through the sacral region and they form, they start from there, then they crosses L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, and then they come out through the sacral region and they are forming sacral splanchnic nerve. They are forming sacral splanchnic nerve. This sacral splanchnic nerve, they supply reproductive organs of male and female. Like in male, in they supply to gonad, they supply to male, and in male actually they causes ejaculation of semen. Yes, ejaculation of semen is controlled by sympathetic neural supply. Seminal fluid secretion is also promoted by sympathetic neural supplies. Sympathetic neural supplies function seminal fluid production, seminal fluid production, and then ejaculation of semen. Then we have sacral spinal. This sacral splanchnic nerve, they act on uterus of the non-pregnant women. In the non-pregnant women uterus, they causes contraction. Yes, not pregnant women, because the receptors will change, so in non-pregnant women they will cause contraction. Yes. Then this T12, which is also called least splanchnic nerve, they come outside, they crosses ganglia, they come outside, and they are forming one diffused plexus that is called renal plexus. This renal plexus also supply to kidney only, and they have same function. So in this video we discussed sympathetic neural supply. Sympathetic neural supply, one things we clearly seen that our sympathetic neural supply increases heart activity, sympathetic neural supply decreases our digestive gland activity, salivary saliva secretion decrease, mucus secretion, in mucus secretion will be thick, lacrimal gland production will be less, they will dilate the bronchioles, they will not constrict the bronchioles, and then they decreases bile secretion, they decreases secretion of large intestine, they decreases secretion of small intestine, they causes ejaculation of semen, they causes contraction into the non-pregnant women. Remaining we will see in next video. Bye.